In this episode of Flea Market Rescue, we're going to make some DIY wood stockings. I've been seeing them everywhere, and I thought it'd be a fun project for us to do this week. We're also going to test out Flex Seal. I've been seeing a lot of people doing mats with them, and I'm just wondering if it's worth the hype. Also, I can't wait to share with you the new products that are launching in my Etsy store today. So if you're ready for this episode of Flea Market Rescue, then let's dive in. One quick note before we get started though, if you're new to my channel, I just want to welcome you. My name is Kelly Sherry. I do a lot of home decor makeovers and furniture flips. I also take you along shopping with us as my mom and I go to garage sales, flea markets, and thrift stores. So I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. That way you'll get notified every time I post a new video. All right, so the other week we did cloth stockings. This week we are going to do some wood stockings. I've been seeing them everywhere and I thought, you know what, that would be the perfect project. So I have this spare wood I have left over and we're going to make a pattern here. So I have 3 pieces of paper that we're going to tape together and we'll make a stocking pattern. So I'm just going to tape these together here. And then we'll draw our outline. All right, so let's go ahead and draw our outline here. So let's see, the toe we probably want. I think that looks pretty darn good. So we'll cut this out and then we'll draw it onto our board. All right, so now the only thing left is for us to draw this onto our board and then we're gonna cut it out. So we have our pattern on our board and we're just gonna draw that out. I use a pencil because if you use a pen or a marker and you try to paint over that, if it's not cut out in the process, then it'll just keep bleeding through. So why make extra work for yourself? Now I have 2 more scraps of wood. We're gonna make 3 because I think 3 is the perfect number. And we're gonna do the same thing with the other pieces of wood. We'll draw our pattern on there. The more I'm looking at this, I think I want this a little skinnier. So I started already to do that. I'm just gonna make this a little bit more skinnier. I don't think there's no need to make it that wide. So I'm just kind of modifying our pattern a bit. Again, you're making it up as you go, so you can do whatever you want with it. I think that just looks a little bit better than having it so wide. Now, let's cut these out. If you're wanting to learn how to use the scroll saw, I have a class and I go through everything from buying wood to learning the machine. I teach you how to cut everything out and we do 5 projects. I'll teach you how to paint them and make them look really cool, and you'll be ready to do craft shows and vintage markets, and you also get these 5 free patterns. This class is catered to the beginner, and if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, so I have these all cut now, and I just want to let you know you don't have to cut these on a scroll saw. You can use a jigsaw, so you still can do the project. It just, for me, I have a scroll saw, and it's just easier for me to do that. All right, so we need to make a hole for our stocking to hang. We can put a little jute through here, but we have to drill a hole, and we're going to drill a hole. So we'll just hang it over like this. And then I will drill a hole right here in the corner. Easy peasy. So now we have all 3 of them drilled, and I'm just gonna sand the sides. I don't wanna sand the top. I want it to be a little rougher because we're gonna go over it with sandpaper and make it distressed after we paint it. So it's just better if I do not sand the top, but I do wanna sand the sides because, you know, when you cut wood, you have a little of this. So we'll just sand that up a little bit. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some of this. It's by Dixie Belle. It's called Voodoo Gel Stain Tobacco Road. Just gonna put a little of that on there. This is gonna give it a nice rich tone that we'll be able to see under the white paint. I really like using this stain because unlike other stain, it's not oily and it dries really quick. And as you can see, it really leaves a nice rich tone to the wood. Since we're painting the wood, I'm not concerned with the line marks from me skirting out the stain. However, if you're going to use this and have this natural, you might want to just put it on a cloth and then stain it. Don't squirt it on there because all wood is different and some wood is porous and you may see the lines. Like this one, it's absolutely perfect. There's no issues whatsoever. The one previous, you could see the lines a little bit, but again, we're painting this, so we really don't need to worry about that. Okay, and we're gonna let that dry there. All right, these are completely dry on this side, so we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do the back side of these. I'm gonna finish all 3 of these and let them dry. All right, so these are completely dry and we're gonna paint them white. I have some white paint here. And we're not going to cover the whole thing. We are going to make it look very, like, distressed. And the texture of the wood is just really making that work well. With the texture being so great on these stockings, we're not even going to need to sand them because they already look like they're sanded. I'm going to paint all 3 stockings using this technique. Again, you're not going to paint the entire stocking. You're going to purposely miss spots so that it looks distressed and worn. I really love how these are coming out. They look awesome. All right, so we're gonna let these stockings dry. Now, while those are drying, we're gonna work on some ornaments. These are new in my Etsy store, and I have more things to show you in just a little bit. Stay tuned, because I have some stuff that is so stinking cute. It's gonna make your heart melt. For these ornaments, I'm going to paint them different Christmas colors. This one we're going to paint red. This is just a simple acrylic paint, and I will leave the paint color in the description. Next, we'll do this bulb in a green, and again, I'm just using acrylic paint, and all the paint colors will be listed in the description for you. This one is such a pretty color. I really love this color. For this last bulb, we're just going to do this in an off-white color. I wanted to make these bulbs a little more 3D, so I made these little accent pieces that we're going to put on there, and we're going to also paint them antique white. When you're painting all these, you might want to wear gloves because, as you can see, it's a little messy. We're going to finish these all up and let them dry. Now that these are dry, we're going to sand the edges and just kind of give them a distressed look. Oh my gosh, I am loving these. Now that these are sanded, we need to tone them down a bit. So again, we're going to use that Voodoo Gel Stain by Dixie Belle. We're going to rub this all over the ornaments to give them an aged look. If you're wanting to get some of this stain, I go to Marion Green at Maple Street Mall, and I'll leave a link in the description for you. She's awesome to work with, and I get all my Dixie Belle paints from her. These are looking much better all toned down. Now it's time to glue these pieces together, and we're going to use some of this Titebond. So I'm just going to put this Titebond on the back of all our little accent pieces and glue them down. I want to make these sparkle, so we're going to use a little of this Mod Podge here. And we're going to use some of this German glitter glass. It's going to make them look so pretty. You're going to dip your brush into the Mod Podge, and then you're going to put that over your entire ornament. Now you're going to take a little pinch of that German glitter glass and you're going to sprinkle it over the entire ornament. You can even rub it in too. You can go back in and add a little Mod Podge and German glitter glass to the areas that you think might still need it. And I'm going to repeat the process with the other 3 ornaments. These are completely dry to the touch, and we're going to take some of that Tobacco Road by Dixie Belle and we're going to put it on top of our paint. Again, we're going to use that Tobacco Road. This is just going to give it a little more of an antique look rather than it being just so stark white. Now I think these look really good. Let's finish these up. All right, so through the hole, we're gonna put some jute. We're gonna tie some jute so that this can actually hang. And then I have this from the flea market. It is a cool stripe. It's very muted. And we're gonna use this as the cuff, which will kind of hide the little hole in where the jute goes in. And then we made these ornaments, and I think this is gonna look precious together. So let's go ahead and start assembling these socks, or stockings, I should say. So we're gonna take a little piece of jute, and we're just gonna kind of loop it through our stocking. I'm gonna tie it in place, and then I'm gonna also make a knot down here as well. So that's gonna allow it to hang. All right, I'm gonna do that with the other 2. You wanna do them around the same size so that they'll hang at the same level. So I'm going to do the exact same thing and then measure. I tie this in a knot like I did the other one. And then let's line this up. So that knot is about right here. We're going to make that knot for this one right there as well. That way, again, they're gonna hang at the same level. And we have to do that with that last one. There we go. So now all our loops are on. All right, so I have our fabric. Let's see, how much are we gonna need? Let's wrap it around. So we're approximately gonna need about this much. We're gonna fold it down, so I'm gonna do a little, here's where it is. This is where I'm gonna cut so I can fold it over and we'll have extra. So I'm just gonna cut a strip of this fabric. Flip back over. We're gonna fold this down. And then we're gonna glue this in place. So what we wanna do, so we have a nice finished edge at the bottom and also the top, you're gonna go like this and do it in thirds. You're gonna glue it like this. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna glue this in thirds. We're just using the hot glue gun, and we're gonna fold that over like so. And we're gonna do the same thing with this, so that we're folding it in thirds. Well, it's not, it's a little slightly less. Okay, so now we'll have two finished edges, one for the bottom part and one for the top. So now you're gonna wrap that around, and then we're gonna glue that in place. So I'm just gonna put a little hot glue there. We're gonna put that down. And then we'll put a little hot glue there. Put that down, and of course we're gonna have to cut it, but that's okay. So I'm gonna cut this right here, because we have just too much fabric. And we're gonna glue that down as well. Now I only glued it on the back here. Here it is not glued, and I'm gonna show you why as soon as we get done doing it with both of those. All right, so we made those little ornaments, and we are gonna use a little of this twine here. It's a sparkly little twine. And you want it long enough that it can go underneath the cuff. So I'm just gonna tie that on. And this is gonna kind of go through here. And that's why we didn't glue down this yet. We will, as soon as we get everything in place. So I'm just gonna do that with the other ornaments. Now, as cute as that is, it's just not enough. Not enough to make it go, you know, like wow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little greenery. we're gonna take a few stems of this and add it to that, add it to that, add it to that. And then I might even use some of this. I got this actually at Walmart and I love it. I think it's awesome. We might dangle some of this down too. But let's see how this looks first. So I'm just gonna, again, cut some of these off here. I think it might need just a little more. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's too much, I don't know. All right, well for right now, let's glue these down here. I'm gonna start with the red one over here. Put a little hot glue underneath here. And we'll glue this sprig of greenery in place. And then we'll also glue our ornament down too. Pretty darn cute, actually. All right, let's go ahead and glue this as well. All right, I am going to add a little of this here. I'm going to cut a little piece off so we can add it to that. We'll cut a little piece off here so we can add it to that. Then we just need one more. And we'll go ahead and cut that there. All right, so let's kind of glue this in place too. I think that's pretty. Now, one thing I noticed when you go to hang them up, this all wants to slide to the side. So I think that we're gonna just actually glue down the ornament so that it won't slide on us. Glue that right in the center. And then we'll just do a little glue right here to hold this in place so that it's not falling as well. One more thing you might want to do is when they're hanging, you are going to see like this. You might want to glue this shut. I think that's what I'm going to do with that as well. I love this. I think it's so beautiful. These Christmas ornaments will be in my Etsy store, and I have exciting news. We're going to run another 15% sale for 2 weeks. So if you missed out on the last sale, here's your opportunity to pick up those things that you might want, and I have a lot of new stuff that I'm so excited to show you. First up, we have this beautiful snowflake garland. It comes with 5 unfinished snowflakes in twine. It's a DIY project. You just paint it, string it along, and it's a beautiful garland. You could even add that German glitter glass, and these would be absolutely gorgeous. My friend Karma convinced me you have to have a DIY for pets. People love their pets. She loves pets so much that she will just stop someone on the street and ask them about their dog. For instance, when we were in Springfield, we were supposed to be taping home decor, and look at what she shot.
And this is Gracie.
And when it came to our meet and greet, she was going to tape everybody that came to see Flea Market Rescue. And when I was going through the film footage, look what I found. Well. I think someone got a little sidetracked again. I just had to laugh because earlier she was trying to talk me into putting dogs in the video. And I said this is a home decor show, not a pet show. So these new DIY ornaments are in honor of my best friend Karma and all you pet lovers out there. This is a DIY kit, so it comes unfinished. You get to choose what dog you want, what type font you want, and you could even just pick a paw print and a little bone and customize that. So those, again, will be in my Etsy store. Now you ready to see the cutest thing ever? Look at this nutcracker. These are very large hang tags, and they're DIYs, so they come natural wood, and you put them together. They come with painting and instructions, and also instructions on how to assemble it. There's 5 super cute ones to choose from. Now I only have 20 tags in total available, so I'm expecting they're probably going to sell out pretty quickly. If you want one, I would head over to Etsy as soon as you can. Now for our last item, which is also our last project. I will be selling these Marion Bright doormats in my Etsy shop, and I have them available right now. Let's go ahead and make one. I've been seeing a lot of people use Flex Seal to do these mats. Now normally I would just use a little outdoor paint and a stencil. However, everybody is saying that this Flex Seal is really good, so I just want to see if it's worth the hype. So I have this vinyl that is not permanent. It's like, removable vinyl. And I did Merry Christmas. We are literally just gonna weed out Merry Christmas, and then we're gonna put it on the mat. I have my friend Karma over today, so she's gonna help me with this mat. As you can see, we're just gonna get all the wording off, and we'll be left with just the outside part of it. I think this is looking really good. I am not gonna put any transfer tape, however, on this vinyl because I really don't think it's going to stick down that strong, and so if I try to lift up the transfer tape, it's just going to keep pulling up the vinyl. So we're just going to carefully lay it on the mat. First things first, that tag has to go.
All right. Okay, we're going to shoot for that about right
there. Yeah. So you want to find your corner, which as you can see, her and I were kind of struggling with that. And then you're going to peel the vinyl off the backing. You want to be careful that you don't rip the vinyl when you're lifting it off. You're going to have little inside pieces that are going to be stuck on the backing, but we'll work that in later. Right now, we just want to get the vinyl that we peeled off the backing down onto the mat. I was really glad to have someone helping me with this because I think this would have been a lot for just one person to peel it off and try to put it down at the same time. All right, now this is looking good, and we just need to add those little pieces back in. Now on YouTube, I saw someone use a heat gun to make this vinyl stick better to the mat because as you can see, it really is not on there that great. All right, so here it is. All done, and I just need to take that heat gun to it, and then I'm gonna spray it with that Flex spray. Now the next day when I went to use my son's heat gun, he couldn't find it. So then Karma had suggested to me, why don't you use some parchment paper, put it over there, and use an iron. It's basically the same thing. So I tried it. And much to my surprise, it really was stuck down there. I think this might have worked. Now when I brought it outside, the bristles of the mat kind of shifted a little, so I noticed it lifted up a little. So you really want to be careful. It'd probably be ideal if I could have brought the iron outside. Now when you're using this flex spray, you're going to want to wear gloves. In addition to that, you should really wear a respirator. All right, let's go for it. I shook the can and now we're going to use this Flex Seal. You want to try to get a nice even coat, and anything that you see that doesn't have enough of that flex, go over it again. I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if this thing was going to be stuck on there once it dried, so I thought, you know what, let's just peel it off after I sprayed it. I'm being careful so that this doesn't touch the mat and kind of leave a black mark. Wow, this looks fabulous. It is so crisp, and it's also very, very black. The only thing I need to do is just pick out those little pieces that are still left. I have to say, I am really impressed with this Flex Seal. I would definitely use it again. I actually like it better than the outdoor paint because it leaves such a black imprint and it's really, really crisp. I guess the only thing that was a problem was the vinyl. It was just kind of really hard to work with. But if I was using like maybe a hard stencil, this would be a no-brainer. Again, this will be available in my Etsy store along with all the other goodies I showed you a little bit earlier. To ensure your order is going to make it there by Christmas, all orders must be in by the 15th. So take advantage of our sale, and anything over $35 gets free shipping as well. Well, that's it for this episode of Flea Market Rescue. If you like this episode and you want to see more episodes, make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. I'm Kelly Sherry, and this has been Flea Market Rescue.